Hey budget nerds! Time to take a break from networking for just a bit and do a few reviews. The Vixure AC920 showed up on my doorstep. I let it in, so we might as well check it out. The Vixure AC920 comes in at $110. And I can tell you right now, at that price, I can't really recommend it. But as you can see, there's a coupon with a carefully selected value of $46 to drop the price to $64. At $64, let's continue the review. In the box, you get the typical action camera stuff, like the waterproof case, remote control watch, 2 batteries, USB cable, 2 straps, and a few assorted connectors. And since I can hear you asking for it, here are some specs for the nerds out there. Pictures clock in at 20 megapixels, and videos will go as high as 4K at 60 frames per second. The camera itself feels decent, very much inexpensive plastic, but it doesn't feel bad. The battery door is kinda sad, but as long as you're careful with it, it should be fine. On the front, you have your very clicky power button. And on the side, you have your micro SD card slot, USB port, and a mini HDMI port. The batteries are both 3.7 volts and carry a 1350 mAh capacity. The touchscreen is pretty responsive, and the menus are pretty easy to navigate. You get options to change the video or picture settings, like the resolution, toggle the image stabilization, change time-lapse intervals, or change the movie speed options. Under settings, you can find general camera settings. The options are good, and sliding through the menus wasn't a task like it can be on some of these budget action cameras. Well, let's take a few pictures and videos and see what this camera can do. This is the part of the review with a lot of buts. The pictures are pretty good, but the fisheye lens is something I don't care for. You can turn on distortion correction, but the images are still in the 4:3 aspect. This makes them look dated, and I couldn't find a way to change it. The detail in some of these pictures can be good, but if you get too close to your subject, the camera refuses to focus on anything but the background. Not a huge deal. Most people won't be doing macro photography with this thing, but I thought I'd bring it up. Overall, these pictures compared to my Pixel 2 XL turned out pretty good, with this one just starting to wash out the whites on the window trim, and the sky is a bit washed out at the expense of a brighter house. If you have lots of light, the camera does well, but if you are in low light, this camera's sensor just isn't very sensitive. You can see in this comparison, the video from this camera on the far left, if it gets dark enough, it just captures very little information. If you want a camera to shoot in low light, then you have to pass this one up. The videos are pretty nice, but the image stabilization and the distortion correction can't be turned on at the same time. You have to pick one. This is fairly common on budget action cameras, but it's present on this one as well. Overall, I was pretty pleased with the videos. They did turn out nice and had good color. The slow motion worked pretty well, but will only shoot at 120 frames per second at 720p. It's a good entry into the slow motion realm. You can download the app iSmart DV, that is misspelled in the manual, to view and control the camera remotely. It takes a second to get connected, but once you do, it seems to work well. Well, for $110, there are better performers out there, but at $64, if this camera ticks all your boxes and the negatives I mentioned aren't a big deal for you, then there's a link below with your name on it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.